Hello and welcome to the very first Unlockables podcast with me, your host Mike, and with me for the first time ever, Jay.
Hello, how's it going?
And Phil.
Hi, glad to be here.
Well, seeing as this is the very, very first Unlockables podcast, I figured it's probably best that we all tell the origin stories. Let's talk about how we came to be here. You know, I mean, I know it's probably customary to tell people exactly what the podcast is about at the very beginning, but no, we're going to do it a little different. We're going to let each character explain their true intention first, and then people can figure out why we've come together in the first place. Jay. Save the best for last.
Let's see. Been probably playing games for since I was about 5 or 6 on and off. It's only got me more from there. Primarily brought up with the Super Nintendo. I had a Game Boy which I played a hell of a lot. Mostly just been Nintendo as I've grown up. Went straight off the N64 and GameCube. And yeah, I'm a big fan of most popular games with the exception of first-person shooters and stuff.
Well, you're pretty much cutting off a massive chunk of the game. I mean, is there any
particular... but I'm not the only one.
Oh, no.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I will admit I get a bit of fun every now and then when I play them, but it's not my primary means of entertainment.
No, but...
I prefer games with a good story.
Well, I think I read the quote recently, and it was Nintendo consoles are they're designed for people, for adults who never truly grow up. Do you think you could
qualify as one of them?
Yeah.
I think my last collection of toys and figures would probably answer that for me.
That's excellent.
Never grow up, kids.
No, it's interesting though, because I don't think any of us ever truly do grow up. That is, yes. It's never grow up is the truth. Story. Bringing us nicely on to Phil. Tell us your never-ending story.
Oh, it really is a never-ending story. Same as Jay here. 5 or 6. I remember having my first. Playing on my big 20.
This is probably shameful for me to even say it, but what's a big 20?
It's an extremely old box of a computer, much like the Atari.
Right.
It's the same as the Atari, pretty much. You know, you had block game, pretty much. There was like 3 pixels per game, I think. You know what I mean? From the big 20, I went to Spectrum and Commodore 64, then Spectrum Plus 3, Amstrad. I went through the entire lot. I was extremely spoiled as a child. I'm not afraid to say because I loved it as a child. Instead of getting games for my birthday, I'd be given a new console. I had a Commodore Amiga CDTV, but it was CDI, Jaguar, 3DO. The only thing I didn't have pretty much was a Virtual Boy. I never got one of them. I wanted one, never got one.
I still want a Virtual Boy.
But it was terrible.
Yeah, but I've just got one in Animal Crossing, and I want a real one now.
It was a thing to give you headaches. That's what it was. Put it on, red lines everywhere, headaches.
Just as a little aside there though, in Animal Crossing do they acknowledge that it's a piece of crap and it gives you headaches?
Basically, all the Nintendo items in this game you get from the shop by getting fortune cookies.
Right.
And each fortune is some kind of hint towards the item you're going to get.
Right.
And the one I got for the Virtual Boy was just like, it's red, everywhere's red. Something along those lines. So,
it's red, the blood coming out of my eyes is red.
It hurts, it burns. But yeah, I've had been a PC game as well. I've been upgrading my PC since I was 16 going on. Every few years or so, upgrading it a bit more. But I always have every console, every generation. Some of them always collect dust. It's like I ended up buying 3 N64s for different Zelda games. I buy it, resell it, keep on getting it back again for the next Zelda, or Metroid or whatever else it was.
It was like Metroid on the N64.
And now
we're going to call this credit.
The GameCube.
It was called Super Smash Brothers.
Oh, well played. Well played.
Nice one. Nice save there. Yeah. But no, I'm on the GameCube now, obviously. And the Wii as well. Though I do most of my Wii gaming through emulation on PC, because I did make HD. Loads of games still work through the software emulator. I obviously buy the games first.
Of course, rip them from a legitimate disc.
Yes, obviously.
No piracy.
No. But yeah, I'm still enjoying this generation, and can't wait for the new one.
Excellent stuff, excellent. Which I guess brings things round back to me, and now I'm being forced to speak. Well, you know what? It's sad to say. I think the three unlockable characters, we all have very similar backstories. I would say, if anything, we're all just kind of palette swapped with the same one because.
Yeah, but you've got to admit we have got our differences.
Oh well, I'm about to bring it up, Jake. You listen.
No.
We'll get, people don't know that. Like, obviously, the three of us, we all know each other. We've all known each other for a while, and we've decided to do this. But now, I think, it's I grew up and I was a SEGA kid. I'm not ashamed to say that I was a SEGA kid. SEGA fought the good fight for many good years, and I had they didn't lose.
Dreamcast was the greatest console ever created.
I will agree with that.
SEGA Dream. So there we go. But anyway, talk about me, not
about
my love Sega, not Sega themselves.
The console wars.
The console. It was a dark time for everyone, that's for sure. But yeah, anyway, I grew up with Sega. First console that I can remember having, because my dad insists we have a Spectrum, but I think I was just too young to even understand what the thing was then. But yeah, we got the Mega Drive and Altered Beast and Golden Axe. They were mine. Amazing games. Oh yeah, that's what started me off. And Street Fighter 2, and then since then, it's just become a matter of like
the lesser version of Street Fighter 2.
Does it matter?
Yeah, well,
I got to experience Street Fighter 2 after waiting for so very, very long. All you SNES players sitting there
with really good copies of Street Fighter 2.
And SNES players, you do realise I had the arcade perfect version on there. Neo Geo. Was it Neo Geo or 3DO? It was one of the two.
3DO, yeah, but that was years later. That was during the thing. But you butt out anyway. I didn't butt in. In fact, I sat there and I listened to your origin story fondly and looked at it and thought, wow, glorious memories this man must have. He has so got all these great consoles that he's like, I can't wait to speak behind him. And he's going to go, oh my god, that's beautiful. You really did enjoy Sonic the Hedgehog 2 that much. That's a beautiful story, man. But no, he comes in and as usual, pisses all over. Get used to this, everybody, because this is exactly the kind of thing.
You have met Phil before.
No, I know. He's the lovable dick we all love. So it's all good. But yeah, since then, and then after the Mega Drive came the PS1 days, which to me are still the best days. That's when all the best games came out. Everything since then has been good, but I don't know. That was the magical time for me. That's when I first truly discovered the greatest stories in video games. But the obvious. I'll go
Final Fantasy 7, right?
Well, that may spend a couple, but lesser known, Suikoden 2, one of the greatest stories I've ever experienced. Metal Gear Solid is one of the finest stories in gaming history that can't be denied. It's 6 hours of perfection. In Resident Evil 2,
24 hours of
he's talking about Metal Gear Solid, he's not talking about
Metal
Gear Solid wasn't me.
Once again, that's a story for another day.
That's a long conversation.
Exactly.
That may be a special.
But since the PS1, since I've started earning my own money and stuff, I've endeavoured to have anything and everything. I'm kind of like Phil in the sense that I will get everything, but I don't mind recycling stuff. It's like if I need a console for something, I'll have it for that day, and it'll go. I don't need it the whole time, And when something comes out and I need to play it, I will find a way to play it. That's the way it's got to be done. So yeah, still carrying on. Next gen, all looks very good, which brings us smoothly on. Actually, seeing as.
Can I just say something first? We're talking about all these great stories you got with the PS1 and that. Mm-hmm. You obviously never played the Page Master on the SNES. Yes, the adaptation of the
I played that game.
Only to bring it up, the Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah.
Do you know?
It was a game about stories.
Yeah, but I
don't know anyone else who owned it.
Admittedly, I remember absolutely laughing my arse off when the horror book blew out the candle on Patrick Stewart's moustache and said, "Ooh, happy birthday." When I was a kid, that cracked me up for some reason. It was just perfect, absolutely perfect. Well, you've thrown me a curveball there.
I don't know why when you were talking about story, my head just went one up and say the Page Master.
But, to be fair, it's like, before we go on to next gen and stuff then, you know what, you've just totally spent, let's keep it 16-bit for a minute then.
Yeah.
What is the best story told in 16-bit?
In 16-bit? Well, I think,
can say.
I know it's on the tip, obviously.
Well, you know me already, so it's obviously Final Fantasy VI, because it's the greatest story ever told in a game so far.
So far, okay, so there's still a chance. But what sets 6 above? I mean, because I'm a big fan of Shining in the Darkness, Mega Drive, classic RPG. You know, even the base story of stuff like Streets of Rage and also. I mean, it's very basic, but it's reading between the lines and throwing your own little interpretations. I mean, what 6 is
well, it's the first Final Fantasy I played, and my theory of Final Fantasy is the first one you play is usually your favourite one.
Very much seems to be the case for everyone I know.
It works for 90% of people, I've found. But 6, it just there was things in it that weren't in any other game of that generation I know. Attempted suicide of characters. The character development was amazing. You thought you had finished the game. I thought I'd finished the game at one point.
Wait. Are we going to have to do a spoiler warning on like a 20-year-old game?
I think it's kind of bit past that. It should be. You should have played this already anyway.
Yeah, but as you know, I've suffered due to 6. 6 is me and 6 have a very strained relationship. Basically, my save file for 6 has been deleted on several different occasions, in several different emulation first time round, because obviously it wasn't available in here, the PC needed formatting, then it was PS1 version, memory card goes missing, then it's the GBA version, the fucking cartridge goes missing. Fuck that game, man.
Yeah. It's just so fantastic. It's so deep.
No, it is.
You spend like you do with all other Final Fantasy, you build your team up, go around the world.
Yeah.
Each new place you go to, you're getting your character, join your party, and choose things. They're all so different. They all had different moves. One character he did like Street Fighter moves for his special. Yeah. He did that all. He wasn't a limiter. He just did them all the time. It was brilliant. And another one, you had a character who learned other characters' moves. You set them off and come back, and he learned that character's moves. So it was just fantastic. And there was things where you could lose characters forever. You'd get Aerith in Palace.
I need to just drop him spoilers. Oh my god!
Sorry, Phil. Do you mean Aerith?
Yeah.
Yes, Aerith.
Sorry. But it was amazing. Another game, particularly that had an absolutely amazing story in my own Shadowrun. It was fantastic.
See, another one that I sadly missed, being not a non-SNES person. It was.
I never saw Shadowrun either.
Brilliant.
I'm probably going to pick up the new version on Steam. If they get something that sounds too intriguing not to give a go. I mean, I'm a big D&D fan, but D&D plus Cyberpunk, that just sounds pretty spot on. So come on, Jay, I mean, have you got a particular 16-bit story that sticks out in your mind?
The story I really liked from the SNES era was probably the story for Super Metroid, because it wasn't really, there wasn't much there.
It wasn't given to our play.
Yeah, and myself and Michael have words about this, I'm sure, later.
Oh, this is a very interesting point. We're going to just put an asterisk right here. Skip to... and you'll find out why. Okay, yeah, see you in a bit. Carry on, Jay.
Yeah, but the big difference in what I'm going to say is I enjoyed what I got because I wasn't told everything. Whereas your argument is I should be reading the flavour text of every...
Whoa, we're saving that for later.
Right.
Okay, and we're going to bleep that bit out. That's spoilers for later on in the episode.
Fair enough. But I also enjoy that, the fact that the way the story is like that, without too much, it really adds to the sense of isolation that goes with the atmosphere of Super Metroid. Samus definitely is alone on this planet.
Yeah. No, I mean, the Metroid series is renowned for that exact sense of, oh shit, I'm alone in a hostile environment.
I felt more isolated and alone playing Super Metroid than I did playing any Resident Evil game ever.
Yeah. Well, Resident Evil, you are always partnered up, at least. There's always NPCs about. I mean, to be honest, once again, Super Metroid is one of them done, but Metroid Prime is my favourite GameCube game of all time for that exact reason.
Metroid Prime is a tremendous game.
Yeah, it blew my mind.
I do prefer Metroid Prime. Metroid Prime is my favourite Metroid series. So
yeah,
it's the first Citizen Kane game.
It was first game to be regarded as a Citizen Kane. We're going back to the SNES era, the 16-bit era. I can't talk about the story when I talk about Chrono Trigger.
He brings it up.
You know,
He brings it up. Beautiful, beautiful game.
the best game I could never own.
Yeah.
Because it never came out in Europe.
That's unashamedly finished it on
emulator. It's the only way I could.
Yeah.
I mean, eventually we got the DS version.
Yeah, which is a fantastic version.
The PS1 version?
No, that was also only an American release.
Yeah.
You see, for our international listeners, if we ever have any, in Europe, there's a lot of things we didn't get.
That's right, I was so glad I had a Super Famicom partner.
Yeah. Well, that's, to have a modified console in the UK was commonplace because, like, so many games weren't available to us.
Just off the title, Chrono Trigger, Mario RPG, Earthbound.
Yeah, I mean, that's we're just over the 16. Let's get into the 32-bit era. Let's talk about every Parasite Eve, Xenogears, Chrono Cross. The list is, there's so many things that we just didn't receive that appeared in Japan and America that we had to find.
Xenogears? Xenogears?
But, going back to the 16-bit, going back to, like, classic stories. And, as I say, for me, I do have a soft spot for the simple tales, the Golden Axes and the Streets of Rage, because they take tropes that are so, I mean, because Golden Axe is just Conan the Barbarian, and Streets of Rage is just, I don't know, Action Jackson, but, you know, with a white dude instead of,
I used to play those games in the arcade, you know, even Golden Axe and Streets of Rage, not Streets of Rage, but,
Final Fight in the Wild.
Yeah, them type of games. And, you know, you'd put your money in wanting to find out what happened.
Exactly.
I mean, you really would.
And there was no story to it was just, you might have a cutscene at the beginning that says, oh my god, things are bad. And then you'll have a punch.
It's like, Madonna's been kidnapped. You've got to rescue Madonna. It's like, what?
Did she?
I don't know if she actually gave the permission to do it, but she was there. She was like, she dressed like Madonna. She got the white dress like Madonna with the blonde hair. She got shoved in the back of a truck. It was like, you just look like no bad dudes.
Yeah.
One of the bad dudes going down the street, punching and kicking guys. It was fantastic.
Okay, now I'm trying that out. I remember that.
Vigilante. I agree. It's like, will Death Adder take over Uria?
Exactly. Uria is a fertile land, and there are. Yeah, that's exactly what I mean.
Golden Axe, though, I wanted to see the next background. The background was
exactly,
so amazing. Yeah. We're flying on a turtle. What's happening next?
Exactly. It was like back then. It's you really did have to fill in the blanks yourself, and that is what made it really. For us, I think as young people, it was. You know, usually stories are so spoon-fed to you. You watch a cartoon, you watch a film. It's all very linear. But when you're in control of it, you want to know the motivations of the guy, and that's all I felt it was like when you read the little blurb at the beginning. It's like axe battler, mother killed by Death Adder. It's like wow, totally motivated by revenge. I mean, as a kid, it's like you don't learn about things like that until a bit later on. But games were teaching us these ideas, the ideas of love, loss, and all these things like
good versus evil.
Exactly.
Games install a good set. Well, a lot of them, especially from I think 13-bit era onwards, installs a good set of morals in the game. Some of the things like teacher, like morals being taught, and good actual educational things being taught without even knowing it was happening.
Yeah,
it really was.
I not in the sense of morals and that, but I attribute my good vocabulary ability to read a lot to games.
Well, I think we were just talking about it the other day, but I mean, I would not really know much about nuclear proliferation and, politics and stuff like that if it wasn't for Metal Gear Solid. It's like, okay, it's hammed up, there are crazy boss battles, there's the Psycho Mantis, there's the Cyber Ninja,
interested
exactly.
In that sort of thing, and into it outside.
Exactly.
You find out stuff that's really relative to the world.
That's it. I wanted to know, are these things real? And you're like, oh wow, okay. It's creepy.
I know we've kind of gone away from it in recent years, but I dare say quite a few people learned a bit more about World War II due to the...
No, it's true, man.
The games
I mean, the attack of the zombie horde on Stalingrad was, it was a very, very big turning point.
Just think, before games existed, no one might have ever even known that.
Exactly, and we've got the guys, Activision to thank for that. Let's take the piss there, but you are right. Like for me, once again, I did learn a great deal about. I mean, to actually experience the Normandy landing as well. You watch Private Ryan; it's a great movie, and it really does capture the feel of the moment.
Horror.
Exactly, but to actually put you in it's so wildly different from the shooters today. I mean, we're talking about something that isn't really that old, but I mean, you compare Medal of Honor, is it Allied Assault that was on the PC version, where you have a really cool Normandy level.
I think it was Allied.
There's just been so many of them that my mind is but anyway, it's like that puts you in the actual conflict, and you learn things, you're actually seeing it play out as it did, and you're able to take part in that, as opposed to just passively observing the events. And yeah, it's just wildly shocking. I mean, do you think games now don't hold back enough to let go too much? I mean,
I don't know. I think we're a little too committed to modern stuff now. You know, we've got all the stuff in the Middle East, and that is very complicated nowadays.
Look at Medal of Honor, like, they have to change it, didn't they? Because you can play the Taliban, you know.
That is true.
You can play the Taliban and kill American soldiers. It's fine to play as American soldier and kill Taliban. You can't have it the way around, but, you know, there's always two sides to every war. They were fine with people playing cowboys and Indians, you know, when that's just as bad, isn't it? You know, you came over there and killed everyone and stuff. But you find with kids doing that, on the streets and stuff. But you're not happy with them doing it on a game where it's, you know,
well, it is once again, I'm going to bring it back to the Metal Gear Solid series, a series that deals with these real themes of war, love, loss, all these kind of things, but puts it in the context of a silly video game with silly elements, and it's that ability to toe the line almost from camp into educational. It's very difficult to do. I mean, I don't want to go too much into it because one of us hasn't seen it yet, but Pacific Rim, new movie, Guillermo del Toro, everyone's heard about it. Amazing, go see it, it's brilliant.
It's great. Best live action anime ever.
Indeed. But once again, a film with its tongue firmly in its cheek, but still manages to, I don't know, rouse you in several different ways. You know, it's got the love. It's like Star Wars. It can teach kids about these darker things while still, you know, having fun at the same time, like, because the best thing about games is that they start our education off younger. It's like when you shoot someone in a game as a kid, I do think you question it a lot more than we do as adults. Now it's like it's a video game. It's cool. When I don't know about you, but when I first started,
age range. That's why when Mortal Kombat came out, started ripping people's heads off. They're like, yeah, this is stuff.
And I still played it.
I know.
It's like
That's not your
I'm a huge fan of Mortal Kombat now, and I've stuck with it through its awkward 3D beginning. I really enjoyed Deadly Alliance and Deception and stuff. I found that Deadly Alliance was the first GameCube game I imported. You know, that's what I got my freeloader for. But when I was younger, when it came out, the Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 come out? 95.
Well, it's 91 for MK, I think it's like 93 for MK2, so yeah, you're probably looking at 95,
yeah. I remember my birthday, my brother more or less made me get Mortal Kombat 3 for the SNES, and if that's 95, I was 8.
Yeah.
And I was terrified of that game when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I didn't like it at all, you know, it scared me. But, you know,
do you think it was a little mean-spirited and, like, it's certainly not for young children?
Yeah, I think I've always kind of been a little squeamish, so the idea of the blood kind of got to me, but when I started playing it and you realise it's not real, you can tell, you know, these aren't real people, it's not something that is going to happen in real life. You start to look past it and just see it as entertainment.
Yeah.
You know, mindless entertainment, not something that you should overthink. You know, get you through. Why think too much about things?
Exactly, yeah.
You know, the whole video games cause violence thing we'll get to at some point. But
yeah, you're totally right. I think that's going to move us nicely on there. Yeah, it's just like as you know, this is our very first podcast. You know, might seem a bit like we're finding our feet a little bit. So you know, we are totally finding our feet. This is very first go. We're just seeing how the dynamic works and stuff. So we're probably going to ramble on for quite a few little bits before we could find our focus.
This will very much be rambling until we get a proper mechanism.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's like I'm hoping. You know, I mean, this is going to get a little bit meta now, but I'm actually hoping that after this I can fix the sound because we're all talking into a headset that is upturned on a table between us.
Very professionally done.
That wasn't the first idea, though. We were trying to be professional.
Yeah, we were trying to. Well, I think professional is
more professional.
I believed with no previous education that I could just stick 3 microphones into a PC and everything would go just fine. It'd be great. It'd be like guerrilla podcasting. And instead, it's turned out to be chimpanzee casting. Monkeys are involved. I mean, Phil's even wearing an amazing shirt now. I mean, I think, you know, I'm going to describe it to you. It's a scene from 2001: A Space Odyssey with the monkey touching the monolith. So the monolith is a NES controller, and the monkey is our good friend Donkey Kong. It's beautiful. It's
evolution of gaming,
evolution, which we've just tapped on. Look, yo, it's coming full circle.
Next generation.
That's exactly it. Well, we're going to take a short break now. We're probably going to play some kind of music in between. Enjoy the music. We haven't decided what it is yet. Welcome back to the Unlockables podcast, the very first one, the premiere. Woo!
Well, yeah, you feeling it?
You feeling it? Did that sound like crap? I mean, because I was thinking in my head, that sounded
Oh,
like...
yeah.
Yeah.
There was, did you hear that last bit there? That sounded like someone being murdered in like, it was like...
We don't want to murder.
No, there was a crowd, and there was like a back alley, and you could just hear... Slit through... Sorry, everybody, that was a bit violent, so yeah, there we go, yeah.
Back on the track of things.
Yes, back on the track of things, oh, pardon me, sorry. Yeah, well, we're going to take a short time now to discuss, some current events, current whatever. And the thing that is on everybody's mind at the minute is the annual summer Steam sale.
Leave my wallet alone.
The wallet, it's empty. It is empty.
Well, all I'm going to say is, I'm not generally a PC gamer. but every goddamn year I give Steam so much money.
It's true. I mean, between Humble Bundles, between Amazon sale, my Steam library, which about a year and a half ago had about 3 or 4 games in it, in the space of about a year and a half, is now I think 119. So it's something absolutely ridiculous. Every sale comes around. You've got websites like hotukdeals.co.uk posting, oh, get this voucher here. Greenman Gaming is doing Deus Ex for 50 pence. You want Deus Ex for 50 pence? Don't you? Yes, I'll take 10 copies, please. And it's the impulse buyer, and everybody is forced to do so. I mean, how much have you spent?
Well, let's see. As the time of recording, currently on the 4th day of the Steam sale.
4th, yeah, I think it's 4th.
I've picked up a couple of things already. Picked up Scribble Notes and Bit Trip Runner 2. Quite cool. Also picked up Witcher 1 and 2. So they're well worth the play.
I'll say, yeah, they also
now that I've got a PC capable of actually running them.
Yeah.
That's definitely helpful.
And that's the thing, yeah, Witcher 2 it's a couple of years old, but it's still very much a free game.
Yeah.
How about you, Phil?
I haven't
given any dollars.
I haven't dived in this time actually yet. There's nothing that's. I've
If
bought
you don't-
everything already that's on there.
If you don't dive in, how will you get the trading cards?
Yeah.
Do you know
that?
what are the trading cards?
I honestly haven't got a card.
You can sell them to people.
I've got a trading card for Torchlight 2.
Right.
My housemate told me that it's worth 20 pence.
Wow, that's. I voted in 3 daily sales, and for my troubles, received a Skyrim card. Yes, you heard it here first. I'm sure Skyrim cards are the rarest of all because Skyrim. Everyone loves Skyrim, so it must be worth £10,000.
Yeah.
See, I was hoping that this card would be able to fund the rest of the Steam channel.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. Can I just trade this in for everything in the sale, please? I mean, I would have thought that would have been
That's not going to happen.
No.
As I say, trading cards are nice, but it's not a stab on like the badges and the coal from previous. But it was just like you buy games, you've got chances of winning 3 games. That was amazing.
Well, maybe there is some sort of something waiting in the sidelines that they're not too sure about unveiling yet. I mean, I can see Valve don't mess around when they come to implementing features. There's got to be something behind this. Maybe I don't know. Maybe just start a new small economy.
Valve's hat economy for Team Fortress is stronger than most European countries in the minute. So. But just to go back to the Steam sale, it's like it's become such a big event now. Nothing was confirmed until the sale happened, but everyone was
Waiting for it.
it's got to be about now. Start to see posts on all like Reddit and all those kind of sites, meme-based things. It's like, Steam sale's got to be coming.
So the only problem with internet sales is that you can't have dudes in sleeping bags waiting outside of shops. It's going to happen any time now. You've got people on forums hovering over the post button of Steam sale beginning now, and they want to be that first guy to post that on Reddit. I gotta get to the upvotes. Gotta get to the karma.
The official confirmation appeared to have come in an email from Steam support to some guy who inquired about a copy of Left 4 Dead 2, I believe, and it just kind of said at the bottom, we can't do this, but please note the Steam sale will be starting July 11th, and it did. I was pretty skeptical of it being a real thing myself, but it turned out it was true, and immediately went home and gave them some money. And, but the fact that there's become such a general buzz about it, I think shows everyone's.
So well good for the consumer, but some people say that's a bad thing for the industry at large. These Steam sales, because how much money are you going to make when you're selling your product for 90% of it? 10% of the value.
But was it Newell himself who said that, like, gamers, they see the value in the games that they buy more than the seller seems to? It's like, when a game comes out, you're going to have X amount of people who are looking forward to said game and are going to pay full price for it, and then there's a bunch of people who are like, not too interested, I'll buy it a week down the line and a couple of quid's gone off. They wait a week, you get another $5 off, they go there, and then you've got the more subsets of people, and it goes on and on until you've got those guys who are waiting to see it, £1.75 on Steam, like 3 or 4 years after it's been released.
I know for a fact loads of people play Tomb Raider was $7.50 yesterday, I think. You know, that's not that old, that game. I imagine a lot of people will pick that up. Same with Hitman Absolutions being a $5, constantly in a couple of sales recently. And
I've been hovering over Just Cause 2, $1.99. It's like, okay, that's really cool. There's a mod coming out soon with multiplayer. Looks incredible.
Seen a couple of videos.
That's it. And because I've been like Phil, I've been quite good. I've not given them any money yet. That's the only thing. That and Bionic Commando as well. One night they did have the pair of them jousting it out. Dark Souls is going to be a $5 tomorrow. Just so you know, greatest game ever made. £5. Buy it now. Greatest game. And but I've been hovering over Just Cause 2 and it's like, I think that's great because obviously Just Cause 2 was so, I assume it did well for them.
I think it did. It definitely got to follow it.
Well, that's it, because it became a free plus game, and I can't imagine they gave away PlayStation Plus for free without already having, some money in the bank. You know, that seems like reasonable to pay so many years after release. To constantly ask for £40. Come on, I mean, it's an expensive industry, I understand, but it's also expensive for the consumer. And we've had to play a lot of games.
I don't know for it because I get games for a lot cheaper. It's just whether it's a sustainable thing. If people are so waiting, get so involved in it, at the end of it, waiting for the film and not spending.
But you don't think that maybe it's in part to do with publishers and developers there with their quoted budgets, like spending millions on marketing when really they should just say the audience who wants this game is going to buy this game, and it's slapping in a multiplayer section that nobody needs. I've not played the Tomb Raider multiplayer. I enjoyed the single player, but I'm just not interested in playing that game multiplayer. Tomb Raider,
it's pretty good.
It's like they're always playable. Dead Space 2's was playable, but it was still tacked on, and it was because Dead Space is a single player game. Like Resident Evil was another series that has slowly degraded with the implementation of multiplayer. It's like developers aren't actually listening to what the consumers want. They are assuming what we want based on the sales of.
We know what you want better than you do.
Yeah. Well, they see the sales of Call of Duty sold 50 billion. Let's make it like Call of Duty.
And that's why we now have Dead Space 3 looking the way it goes.
Exactly, that's why Resident Evil 6 comes out and disappoints absolutely everybody whilst trying to please everybody. And that's the tragedy of Resident Evil 6.
Although the Leon chapter is quite good.
That's exactly, there was one chapter.
The Resident Evil chapter.
Yeah.
It's actually got zombies in it.
Although Leon seems to have forgotten what a zombie is at times when for some reason.
Well, you've got to assume that if the president becomes a zombie, then you're going to remember he's the president. I mean, it's a big deal. It's a big. I mean, come on. In the Dead movies, we've already discussed this. In the past, it's like you see they remember things from their lives. You'd assume.
I thought they were learning again.
But the president is of such a strong. I mean, we're trusting this man to lead another country. But that's what I'm saying. So he would have more fortitude when he becomes a zombie in order to maintain a little bit of his humanity.
You're being president means you have a lot of money.
I'm just trying to defend Leon's actions. Leon is cool. He didn't forget what a zombie was. He hadn't seen one in a long time.
I've met the man who does his voice, so he is pretty cool.
Name dropping in the first episode.
Whatever. He also plays Fei Long in Street Fighter, and he beat me in Street Fighter. Slightly bitter.
I would be too. But just to bring it back, to the sales. I mean, it's like we've just said there. I mean, what do you think would be the best middle ground for a developer to reasonably ask?
Well, I always like the ones where you put their games up per pay what you think it's worth, and then because. The best platform I've ever seen for getting a game out of people was what Dead Rising did. They give you a little chunk of the game for a little small price.
Was that Dead Rising 2?
Case Zero.
Yes, yeah.
Case Zero things.
If you had an Xbox.
Yeah, but it was just brilliant things. Like, here's a little bit of the game for a very cheap price, and you'll carry things on into the full game to try to get it stuff as well. and if this is what the game is, here you go, have a play of it. You like it, buy the full game, and you'll get extra bits that haven't played the little demo they're giving you. And that works so much more than the demo usually get, where it's a 6-minute slice of the game or whatever. It's like, you just get that thing. Like, you've got all the powers, you've got nominal powers, and just not properly giving you a picture of the game.
So you're thinking like almost like pilot episodes for games, like allow people to have a good taster of it for a reasonable price, and then see if the full game is worth it.
I'm a person that, gets games maybe not that legitimately to see if they're decent enough to be worth my money. As soon as if it's worth my money, I go out and buy it. It's not worth the money. I'm not playing anymore. I don't want to play it. So I'm not going to waste my money on things. I'm not going to spend money on something it's terrible.
Well,
I want to know first, and that's why I like the P0 thing. It's not giving me a way of doing it legitimately.
So exactly. So you're more willing to put down a small amount of money for a good taster of the game, so they can recoup you some of their costs, even if you don't find the game to your liking. That's a good plan.
How about you mentioning stuff like teaser, like slightly more than demos?
Yeah.
I know we're all into our fighting games, so what do you all think of Killer Instinct? The way they're setting it out, so you can buy a full retail copy wherever, or you can just pay for the characters you want to play as. You'll get like Jago to start with, and then you can just pay for the characters you want.
As long as there's a full retail version of it, you get everything. I'm happy with it, they can do what they want with the rest of it. I probably won't be interested in it.
But as what you're saying, the way you like to see games getting demos almost.
That's why I like it.
Do you like that as an idea?
That is a good idea, because then if people do like one, not going to buy the full copy, but they will end up spending more money buying all the characters, and good for developers for getting it out that way, because it's got more people into the game in a legitimate way where they can think, I'm sort of tester.
So do you think that would be a good way to do fighting games in the future? Or
I don't want to say
exclusive.
I want there to be a way of getting. I want this game. I want the full game. I don't. For a fighting game, it's different. I don't think of it the same way as like Dead Rise. You get a taste of a game like that. For the fighting game, it's a bit more different. I like that fighting game. I want to get the full thing.
You need every option there, because you never know who's going to be around the house having a game. You don't know whose main character is who. It's like if I turn up at your house and you've got Killer Instinct, it's like, I've got fight, and it's like, I've only got SEGA Wolf. It'd be like, where's Macinda? I need Macinda!
If you're going to say that, to be correct, I'd only have Spinal.
Oh, my apologies. But it is a fair point to say. It's like, it kind of only makes it. I mean, I suppose it's good if you are someone who only likes to sit and play the game online and will only use 2 or 3 characters, or even just the single character.
That your main character, like Tekken Revolution.
Well, it kind of is. You buy token. I'm not enjoying the way Tekken Revolution.
Well, that's like playing in the arcade. You buy a token to play, and then you play. You win.
It's gone with it's gone with the same kind of free to play as the Tekken card tournament mobile app, where it's you get so many goals a day, or you can pay for coins to get more of it. It's a free
total premium game, man.
And to be honest, you can get these coins by just playing the game, not as quickly.
True.
So you can just get the same experience if you're willing to put the time in.
I much prefer the Killer Instinct version, and if you buy a character and you use that character forever. Play online with that. That's the fair way to do it. I have to pay the credits to each it's not like we're not in and out with home consoles, we're not in and out anymore.
Exactly.
We don't pay per play.
Exactly. That's exactly my. I mean, when you pick up a game, I mean, I'm a sucker for Unlockables in fighting games. Unlockables! It's the thing.
We love Unlockables.
It's like nowadays the whole idea of having unlockable content seems to have died. I remember picking up Tekken 2, and you'd boot it up, and you'd go into 2-player mode, and there was all these question marks, and you're like, who are in the question marks?
Stay up all night.
Exactly, it was like, you'd be passing the controls, like, come on, let's do arcade mode one more time, we've got to find out who the next guy is. It was brilliant,
Tekken bowling?
Yeah, exactly.
What's this?
There was so
the only games I get that way anymore are the Smash Brothers games. When you load up a character screen, you go, I've only got 8 of these characters. Oh my god, there's like 32 of them.
I mean, to be fair, I think that was mishandled in Brawl. That that single player mode was...
But you didn't have to unlock them that way. You could unlock them in the standard ways you used to unlock characters.
Could you unlock them through arcade mode?
Yeah. To save so many fights and stuff like that.
But in Melee, wasn't it just you completed it over and over, didn't you? And you got a character guaranteed.
Oh yeah, but there was also, you could get them through verses if you played so many verses.
Yeah. That's what annoyed me. It was just like, I just wanted the bog standard, finish arcade mode, get a character. That's how I like to do it, it's got to be as simple as that. Maybe play arcade mode, but as many times as there are hidden characters.
Up to 2, maybe 4 maximum specialty characters.
Yeah. That's it. Oh, what's that? Win 3 perfects in a row, and then a great, and then I get to fight a fucking dinosaur.
Yes! So, you've got to do perfects in every round. You can't get it. And if the planets align and something flies over the moon, then you might get a chance to play against this guy.
Yeah, then the fish will arise from them and stroll on over to Tekken Revolution because, there's talk of a new character being...
Lady Paul.
Well, Lady Paul is an option. Tekken Revolution, creator Harada is basically... there's been a poll. There's been the big decisions, and some of the are they going to choose the final 4? And the final 4 are going to be voted on at Evo or something. And
I can't remember the exact
but either way, specifics don't matter. There's one specific that matters. One of the candidates is a fish.
A fish that was originally meant to be in Tekken 3 of all
Exactly,
things.
a deleted fish. This fish has risen from the video game dead to try his hand once more. How do you guys feel about a fish in Tekken?
There was a dinosaur, there's a kangaroo.
Do you not think Kuma will have an unfair advantage over John Salmon?
I think he may be too human now. He spent a lot of time with Heihachi.
But, I mean,
and he's busy chasing
was this Tekken 2 ending where he had a salmon? Sarah? Tekken 2? Where he had the salmon? Kuma. Yeah, so Tekken 2, Kuma eats a salmon. We'll fact check that later, but yeah, I'm pretty sure.
That's what
I'm saying.
Those salmon were never the size of him with legs.
Okay, this is true.
I don't know.
Those salmon didn't fight back using their own spawn, and those salmon did not flop around anytime you press the punch button.
Imagine it flopping in one of those forever stages, just trying to get away from him, man.
Come back.
Speaking of new characters, Evo, reveal the new DLC characters for Injustice.
Yeah,
oh god, yeah, well,
that's happening tonight.
That's it. Oh, right, okay, well, well, of course, we will now know that they are. And so, and
Sub-Zero! And not to mention, we got the announcement of, hopefully by now, we'll know what it's called, but not Super Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition version 2014.
Yeah, are we gonna do the old joke? Should we do it?
Alright.
Right, okay, right, we'll do it, I'll start.
Okay.
And then we'll go round.
So this is the official name.
This is going to be the official name.
This is the official name of the new edition of Street Fighter 4.
Hyper.
Super.
Mega.
Ultra.
Vega.
Remix.
Hyper 2.
Dash.
Edition.
Gold.
Master.
Street.
Skip me.
You skip me.
Street.
Fighter.
X.
Minus 6
plus
Alpha.
Dual Arcade
Edition.
Hey! There you go, guys.
That's the official name.
That's the official name. That is the official
Don't
name.
believe anything else.
Yeah, it's every other media source is incorrect.
Back to, seriousness for a second. 5 new characters.
Yeah.
4 of them making their appearance from Street Fighter Cross Tekken. So you got Elena, Rolento, Poison, and Hugo.
Rolento!
We've also announced there is a 5th character who has never been in a Street Fighter game before, Not sure if that means if it's going to be a new character like Jury and Hakan was in Super.
I'm putting out there. I would put fiver. Metaphorical fiver. It's down on tape, okay? Yeah, that guy. Metaphorical fiver on my Hagar. Just because they said he hasn't been in a Street Fighter game before. Is that a Street Fighter game? No. It's a fighting game. And to be honest, he's the only person from the Final Fight family. No, it could be Sodom. Sodom's in Street Fighter Alpha, obviously.
What about the guy with the shades and the dreads?
Oh, damn! That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
That would be very interesting.
Do you know what it's going to be? It's going to be the American version of Poison, that really lanky fella.
Oh, with the mohawk and all that. Or is it going to be the offensively gay cop? I mean, I think we've all played Street Fighter and we've all thought this game is missing an offensively gay cop.
Well, don't think I've thought that myself personally.
No, you don't think it needs a stereotypically, kind of overly camp,
I play as Vega. I have that.
That's true. Street Fighter has its camp absolutely sorted.
Yeah, it's got Dan.
Well, I love how we got from Steam sales to
I don't know how that happened.
Well, I say that's the beauty of conversation, brother. That's the beauty of conversation. So I'm gonna, very kind of awkwardly seg this into a conversation about the future. Where we're on the precipice, guys. I want you to imagine. I want you to imagine a spaceship flying through space. We've seen the planet that is Spectrum and stuff like that. We've seen the planet that is Mega Drive and the 16-bit wars.
That's the Mega Drive.
The Mega Drive. Mega Drive. We've seen the Sony dominance. We've seen Microsoft and Nintendo going at it while Sony kind of played about. And now we're about to see a whole new chapter in the console war.
The next generation. 4 months away, gentlemen.
Well, that's. Should we declare? Should we take time to declare who we're fighting for? Okay.
I'm gonna say PlayStation 4.
Phil?
I'm also going to say PlayStation 4.
Oh, is it gonna be a triple threat? I think it is. Yes, I think it's a clean slate for the PlayStation 4.
Although, can't deny there's a couple of games for the Xbox One.
The one.
180.
Are we gonna do X-Boom? Let's go with X-Boom. Yes, the X-Boom.
There's a couple of games I haven't played before, despite how I don't like what we've done with it. I can't wait to play Dead Rising.
Dead Rising 3 looks incredible.
And I know it's coming out on the 360, I can't remember if it's on PC, but Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare. I really want to play that game.
that looked good. Surprisingly good.
I really want to play that game.
It's certainly something that I won't mind picking up a PC. It's you hit the nail on the head immediately. Dead Rising 3, Killer Instinct.
Oh, Killer Instinct.
And Plants vs. Zombies are 3 amazing games on the Xbox One, but I mean, it's horrible to say. It sounds so cliche to say it now so long after the fact, but Sony just really nailed it, didn't they? I mean, they really did nail the customer service, the idea of keeping what we love sacred about how we like it. It's, change is bad. We don't like change, and Sony have kept it so that there is change, but not at the same time.
To be honest with you, I thought when I was watching E3, and then Microsoft came out, they had wall-to-wall games, and they were all quite impressive games. I think I had to do it. Then EA and Ubisoft came out, and Ubisoft blew everybody else on the wall.
Yeah, for the second year in a row, man.
Amazingly impressive. Even though they didn't have the best coach, but I might say that.
I don't mind.
I think she was brilliant. I think she deals with a lot of flack.
Yeah. I like her.
I giggled, okay?
Me and my housemates both liked her.
Yes.
So, and then we had Sony's on, and I thought Sony were, because we came out and they did what Microsoft did with their reveal of the Xbox One, they had the movies, and they had the sport, and they went on about beta, and it's like, it's shows for PlayStation 4, and, when they started showing PlayStation 4 stuff, Destiny gibbered quite a few times, Assassin's Creed completely at the gibbering quite a few times. I thought, oh dear, Sony's lost this. And then they came out and did the second-hand stuff, and
No DRM.
no DRM, and the price tag, like 200 quid less.
Yeah.
Like,
80 quid.
80 quid less.
Yeah.
It's a British pound still.
Yeah. and then, you got like, what, 5 minutes standing ovation or something.
Yeah.
And it was like, all we've done there is said, well, yeah, we can think to stay with the now we're not progressing or anything. And it's like, and everyone was so like cheering out, like, yeah, but it seems to me that Sony had lost the E3 then. And then it goes into the post E3 interviews with everyone, and everyone's like going, Microsoft's dead! Sony's absolutely murdered them everywhere, and I was quite shocked by it all.
Yeah, but
it was.
you gotta admit he didn't help himself with some of the fucking interviews.
Oh no, it was terrible.
Everyone's saying, get an Xbox 360 instead.
Yeah, I don't know what it's like on a nuclear submarine, but we have a console for that. It's called our Xbox 360.
It's like, you don't buy yourself.
Xbox. I mean, come on, you like part of me. I'm gonna. This is a bit of a tangent, guys, but when I see his weaselly face on the screen, I can't help but feel a little bit sorry for the guy. It's
You're
like
sorry for Don Manchin.
yeah, because he's so shit. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like Alan Partridge, you're like,
he has a lot of
you look at him, he's like, oh, you're such a tool. Oh, you're a lovable tool. You're failing so hard.
Yeah, but what's he done now? He's gone and moved to Zynga.
Oh God, CEO Zynga or something.
CEO Zynga. So he's gone from being, the head of the electronics and entertainment division of Microsoft. I thought, what's the next step up for me? I know, I'll go to Zynga. That's where I'm going.
Do you not think that maybe there was a forced hand in this? I mean,
because he handled
because it was such a botched operation.
Or is he scared and doesn't have faith in the console itself?
Either are very plausible,
or he's jumping ship after seeing how badly it's been received.
Well, all this happened just after being revealed. He was doing the 180 and all these features that they said it's not that easy to take out. They've gone and taken out.
Exactly.
And petitions have now started for people to have the DRM and stuff.
I have no idea what is wrong.
Well, no.
It's because of the features that they've taken out. The features that they've taken out in exchange for this.
Well, they should be pushing the DRM to go back in.
No, they are.
Features to go back
if you read the very last paragraph on the, I can't, we'll find the link, put it somewhere near the page. But basically, in the mission statement, I'm going to paraphrase here, but it's like, it can't be all or nothing. Surely there's a compromise,
sure.
and that's what they're asking for. They're not asking for the restrictive DRM that they originally wanted to impose. They're asking, it's like because let's be honest, the family library feature, a very cool idea. The idea to be able to share. I mean, I know we've kind of already have it now on PlayStation with up to 2 accounts on 2 machines.
Don't know why that's going to stay with.
Yeah, of course. That's unknown at the minute. But the idea of saying like having up to 10 people sharing a library of games. That's a really cool idea.
They say that though, the sharing of library of games, but wasn't it actually that if you have a game, the people in that share thing can download a demo of it, and then if they want
there was so much, to be honest, I mean, personally, I read a lot of the sites, we all do, but I can't find anything concrete on that. There's so many conflicting voices coming out of Microsoft.
Microsoft, each different executive was saying
different things. Yeah, it's like the only thing I heard consistently from more than one of the executives was buy a 360. Phil Spencer said that as well. He used a mobile phone analogy. Said you wouldn't buy a cell phone if you couldn't get the reception.
It's true.
It was like, if you haven't got the internet, buy an Xbox 360. It's like, that's not good enough.
No, it really isn't. It's one of them. It's like we can't totally validate Sony. It's I mean, the PS
can't deny the big impact Xbox Live has had.
Oh yeah, of course, and not to mention, it's like remember when Sony revealed the PlayStation 3 and everybody sneered then? The fact is...
It's become a bit of a thing on the internet about the third console from a company.
It's where you develop hubris. It's where you go.
Happened with the N64 for Nintendo, PlayStation 3 for Sony, we're now on the Xbox One for... I think there's been a couple of other examples. I think Atari might have done something similar.
Atari have had...
Then again, that might have been when the goddamn video crash happened.
Yeah. Oh,
Video crash.
and of course the Jaguar.
God.
Jaguar. Aliens versus Predator on the Jaguar.
Hey, I'm not saying listen.
Listen.
Nobody's having a go with Aliens versus. We're having a go with Jaguar.
No, we're having a go with Atari.
His controller was a foam.
Yeah.
I mean, not a brick for mobile. It was a home phone from the 80s.
Not compared to the fucking grizzly bear that came with the actual Xbox One.
The real Xbox.
I like the original Xbox.
The grizzly bear. Nobody likes it.
I find this
compared to when they released the S, which is now the official 360 controller, and looks like it's keeping it for the Xbox One. I don't know. I hated it when I used it because we waited on an Xbox, and at that point I was still waving all the flags for Nintendo. At that point, GameCube was in the corner. I hated the Xbox. I wanted nothing to do with it. Whereas PlayStation 2 was just kind of over there somewhere. Played it when I went around to my mates. I never personally had one until I got it when Prince of Persia: Sands of Time came out. I got it quite late compared to other people.
It's weird you say that. I know 2 other people who got the exact same bundle.
Yeah.
GameCube.
That was the silver.
GameCube controller's amazing.
It was horrible. The N64 controller was awesome, and the GameCube controller was
best controller for Soul Calibur 2, hands down.
It's such a comfortable controller.
Different sized B, A buttons.
Because you use A the most.
For camera control. It was only used for camera control, apart from like 2 or 3 games. Why not just have them all the same size? It was unwieldy, and the stick was awful. It was nowhere near as good as the stick.
The analog stick on the GameCube controller was beautiful.
And it hurt to use direct.
Oh my god, and you're talking about Dreamcast being one of the greatest consoles of all time.
The console.
The controller on that was that D-pad. Oh my god, the amount of torn thumbs from Hadoukens thrown in Third Strike and the flashbacks.
I'm definitely going to have to disagree with you here.
The GameCube controller is a beauty. Phil, in this instance, it's 2-1. That means you're wrong. These are many. They need to you. Doesn't matter. Go on. No, you lose.
Do not accept your opinion.
The majority opinion.
I'm not going to change my opinion.
I'm not going to ask you to. I'm just going to
tell you your opinion's wrong.
Exactly.
You are entitled to it, but it is wrong.
See, 2 N64 controllers. That was the best mode of controlling anything ever.
Are you telling me you played GoldenEye with 2 controllers?
When we played multiplayer, we had to play 3 player because I was playing with 2 controllers and I had a big screen. Fuck you guys.
Spoiled brat, ladies and gentlemen.
And
he never got his virtual boy.
We did play 4 player. It's just a game there.
I'd be like, no, Tim, you can't play. I'm playing both.
But it was
and because of you, I've completely forgotten what I was talking about.
The control of the GameCube.
Yeah, what was I talking about before that? How did I get to that?
We did have, we were talking about next gen. We were talking about Dogmatic, and I was talking about how I think he's a nice guy.
No, you wasn't.
I was talking about, I think I was misunderstood. I say, let's reel it back in next. We were going off on a crazy ass tangent.
I'll try and remember.
One day we shall discuss the ins and outs of the GameCube controller and how Bill is wrong. But anyway, let's bring it back to what Sony are doing with their campaign. I mean, obviously,
very much going for the sharing and the cloud and.
Exactly. PlayStation Plus is now a must, and anyone who uses PlayStation Plus at the minute knows how much of a benefit it actually is to any gamer.
I have saved so much money
exactly.
on PlayStation Plus.
If you're a gamer on a budget and you own a PlayStation 3, stop buying games and spend £40 a year on PlayStation Plus, and you'll never have to buy a game again. There might be titles that will never be offered on Plus, but the amount of content you're going to receive for just your Plus subscription is fantastic. The fact that now is going to carry over on 3 different formats makes it even more appealing. Okay, the little, cloud on the silver lining is that it is now required to play online on a PlayStation 4, but nothing changes on PlayStation 3, nothing changes on PlayStation Vita.
And from what I've heard, from what I understand, is if you're playing a pay-to-play game or a free-to-play game on PlayStation 4, you don't need PlayStation Plus subscription.
To be fair, I think Microsoft are going to be employing the same in Xbox One. It's got to be a free-to-play game.
It's got to be free-to-play.
Yeah,
but it's the same with pay-to-play games as well.
Right.
So stuff like Final Fantasy,
DC Universe.
you know,
Yeah.
any of the MMOs that might eventually come to.
Yeah. They're all the titles that are going to have GRM on them.
Yeah.
Well, but
that's the reason for some of these things. That's this freemium stuff and all that.
It's funny that you should bring this up. It's something that's been playing on my mind a lot recently. Is exactly that. The age of the MMO and how that's going to impact this next generation of consoles. It's like as we're seeing quite regularly, the pay-to-play model is dying. And World of Warcraft was losing players in the road. Games like Age of Conan, what was the Warhammer Online, Star Wars, the Old Republic.
Star Wars, the Republic. EA's most expensive mistake.
Exactly. They're all
DC. The City of Heroes and Villains games went free to play before their servers got shut down. Champions Online.
There are so many MMOs out, each with wealth of content, each with deep intrinsic battle systems and everything, but there's still some of them who are asking for, the Elder Scrolls Online is about to come out. Now, I don't know about you guys, the only way I'm interested in that game is if I pay £40, I take it home, and I can play it. I don't want to have to think about £8.
Like Guild Wars.
Like Guild Wars, exactly like Guild Wars. It's like, if they said, right, you can have 3 character slots in Elder Scrolls Online, if you want another one, you pay £6. I'm happy with that. That works for me. If they say, oh, you bought Elder Scrolls Online, yeah, cool, that's going to be another £10 a month. It's like, no, I'll pay for expansions when they come out, like with the current Elder Scrolls games. Whatever that loud bang was, I'll remember.
I dropped my phone.
Yeah. As I was saying before I was interrupted.
Sorry.
I said, I'm willing to play, because I won't play that game like an MMO. I will play that like I play the current Elder Scrolls games. I will play through it, see what the lore's all about, see how cool it is. Probably do some quests with friends, that's about it. I'm not big into the going out into the big wide world, seeing other people I don't know. I like playing with my friends, and that's about it. So that's how I will experience Elder Scrolls Online. However, that won't happen if they ask for more than the £40 that's going to cost me on launch day. I know Phil will, probably definitely be trying that out at some point, because he's a sucker and he plays everything. He doesn't give a fuck. So how do you feel about that particular?
I will try it out. With MMO, with a subscription, you always get your first month free anyway. Yeah. You can put your credit card information or whatever. Yeah. Put your subscription, but you can cancel it before you get into you get 30 games to play. I always try out, MMOs to see if anything actually new in them, to try and find out, if there's something that's going to hook me for 6 years of my life, like another job again, which I hope something never ever does, but yet I still put my fishing hook in the water. I don't know why I do it, but I do.
It's like, it says since Disney when he got really cute, I was saying, you never really quit. Go on, have another click. Go on, click it. More loot, you need the loot. Grab all the loot. Look, it's got purple on it, it must be good. Yeah.
We're going to talk about stuff like that. I personally don't really know any of your MMO history, so what MMOs have you played?
My MMO, started off with RuneScape. I'm sure I've told you guys the story before. It's quite tragic, really. It was, we were walking, I was walking. Little dude, white shirt, blue trousers, blonde hair. I just found myself a blue lizard's hat at pointing. I was just wandering around. Simple little dude in RuneScape. For those who don't know what RuneScape is, it was an early MMO, free to play, and really old school graphics. It wasn't much to look at, but it was good fun. It was a good laugh. It was something that you could play that was like Ultima Online, but you didn't have to pay, and it didn't require much in the way of system requirements or anything. It was very simple, and it was a good laugh. So I was there, my very first character, wandering about, idyllic, ready to find adventure. And I'm wandering around, looking at all these other guys going to and fro, killing monsters and things. And I meet this one guy, and he's like, "You look like you'll be up for a job. Do you fancy coming to help me farm some wood?" And I was like, "Oh, okay, we'll go get some wood." It's like, right, first we've got to go to the canyon and chop away. We need to get some gold so we can make you some armor and stuff. I was like, brilliant, let's go. So we're in there, we're walking around these canyons and mining away, both of us chatting away, finding out who each other are, what we want from the game, what our aspirations are. It's like, right, okay, we've got all the stuff we need now. Now we've got to just go to my little place and we can go and we can make your armor. It'll all be great, and you can be the next hero of the RuneScape world. You will be the greatest RuneScape player that ever lived. I was so excited. I believed I could see the future. I could see me stood atop the mountain of the end of RuneScape with my sword aloft, lightning striking it as the woman holds onto my thigh, and it's like, he's the hero of RuneScape! So we find this cabin in the woods. Instantly, the phrase cabin in the woods brings to mind certain visions. And we stand there, and I turn round, and I see him closing the door behind us. And he turns to look at me. Dark eyes, metal helmet, the blonde wig looking up at him. There was such trust. We made such a bond since that initial meeting, and didn't say anything as he approached and stabbed me. He stabbed me. He made me believe that he was going to help me, and then he killed me. So that was my first experience with MMOs, and since then I've dabbled in a couple more. Old Republic was the one I probably spent the most time on. Really helped that it was a Star Wars setting, I think, but even then, it eventually started. The grind kicks in, and I'm just not. I much prefer optional co-op than MMOs. I can totally see the appeal. And I'm sure there'll still be MMOs released in the future that manage to hook me in, but, you know, at the minute, nothing on the go. Nothing. But Marvel Heroes dabbled around there. Okay. Bill?
I have a story. MMOs. My first real MMO was a MUD, a sex-based RPG that was really about roleplay. Very, very nerdy. And it cost a hell of a lot of money to play as well.
Really?
Yeah, I think £30 a month.
Ooh! How did that work exactly?
It was like, it had its own interface, and you log into it, and then you were just walking about, and it'd be like a description of the area you're in, and the people that were there, and you look at them and see what they had done. You pretty much, Dungeons and Dragons rules, but it's telling how it's set in the rules. You don't play your characters to be active GMs all the time, and they make things happen with the epic, massive storyline. Like you were in a book, and it's telling you were telling your character, and the story was being written around you.
Actually, sounds pretty cool.
Really was some amazing things. Some amazing times I had in that game. And then it went to. I was playing Star Wars Galaxies for a long time. It was brilliant. I don't know, we changed it for the game experience and absolutely ruined it. Made it an FPS pretty much. It was terrible. Played Warcraft for 6 years. That was the longest running MMO I played. I played in beer and put down. And I got the best edition of every single one. But yeah, that was a.
Do you even have this
story
sort of,
no, I didn't get this up a day. I quit by then. That was the last, I wasn't the last one. I was raid leader, in the first World of Warcraft, the raid, the 40-man raid, so, I was leading 40 people from America and from Canada and from Mexico and from all across Europe and Russia and England and Scotland and Wales. There were just people all over, and I was able to do a really hard game for a long time. And organising those 40 people to do what you wanted in these massive fights that lasted ages, going them all forward and making the first time. Getting the first lockdown and the next one. It's a fantastic experience. I don't know about any more time to do, but it's the same old ideas. And they're just going, that's so successful when they copy that. Upsetting, but
it is Call of Duty style.
Follow the leader.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work because, as we see, and that's why all these things are crashing and going to free to play, and we're then seeing these free to play models working and profit, and so now they're continuing down that route. So
all we need is a really good game
because
in that model.
Because of this thing, they're continuing down the same road now. They're not innovating and doing these things. Someone's trying. And, but they're getting reined in, I'm sure, by the people behind the scenes saying, no, we need it more.
Make it more like
It's wrong for me to get the money in. It's like, this isn't going to make you money, there's already that there.
Yeah.
Make your own thing, something different.
Exactly. It's, I'd like to bring it back to Resident Evil. There was a series that, it filled a niche for a long time, and then all of a sudden it was like, wow, this is selling so much, so is this game series, how are we going to merge the two? And it's evolved into something completely different, completely at odds with what it originally was.
I think Resident Evil 4 did a lot of bad and a lot of good.
It's crazy, isn't it? Resident Evil 4 is a massive highlight in the series.
Yeah.
I absolutely love Resident Evil 4.
Every other game has had to try and follow that now.
Exactly.
And I think that's caused a lot of the problems.
I want to play Resident Evil 4.0 or 3.9.
The one that you did. It was Devil May Cry.
Yeah. But I'm still waiting for the complete release of 1.5. I've played the last ISO that was released, and it was hideous and playable, couldn't do anything, but it was so amazing to walk around for a pretty short while in those blue corridors.
I want to play the N64 version of Resident Evil 0.
Oh my god, I never even thought. I must Google that. Someone must have a ROM of that.
Yeah, I remember. Because that was when I was proper into my period of reading magazines. I was reading that every time that popped up. I was like, oh, cool.
I remember seeing just like 3 or 4 screenshots in games, and that's all that ever was. This is gonna be so cool! Then we have to wait till the fucking GameCube. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Zero on the GameCube. It's the hardest game in the series, without a shadow of a doubt. Shut up. To be fair, it is one of the weaker of the old school.
Leaving items on the floor.
Yes, the magic box was. I mean, people thought that. I thought that was
everyone
cool
went
on paper.
Cool. You've got to do it. It's got to be realistic, and then everyone wanted the magic box.
Yeah, on paper it sounded great. It sounded like, oh, it's more realistic. Oh, you're gonna have to really think of it. It's like, no, the magic box. It's a video game.
Instead of having the different characters.
There's some tropes you want still.
Yeah. What's that?
There's some tropes you just want.
Exactly. Resident Evil created a bunch. I mean, should we bring this smoothly onto Silent Hill? I mean, I know Silent Hill 2 is one of your all-time favorite games.
It's amazing.
And it's a series that has... I mean, it's been a roller coaster, really, full of ups and downs, isn't it? It's like...
The first one was amazing. Some of the hardest puzzles survival horror game.
Yeah, absolutely.
There was some proper stickler in that game. Really good ones.
Not to mention, I mean, sorry to interrupt, but I mean...
Scary monsters as well.
That's what I'm saying.
Little babies with the knives.
Resident Evil, I'm a massive fan, was there when the first game came out. It was fucking incredible, blew my fucking mind. But it didn't scare me. Resident Evil 1 didn't scare me.
When the guy came on the cover?
To be honest, I think I spoiled myself because me and Arthur were so excited about Resident Evil. We watched everything, we got everything, we've seen it all before we even played it, so to us it was like, oh my god, we're totally doing that bit from the trailer, and it's like...
Make you feel like...
I was good for it, it killed me, but it was, I wasn't scared, I was like, motherfucking snake, I'm gonna kill you next time. Although they were all there, and to be fair, Resident Evil 2 is when it started to scare me, that's when I think they got it right, and then the Resident Evil remake, now we're talking about fear.
The first time a hunter broke through a door.
Exactly.
Oh my god.
Whereas Silent Hill, from 1 onwards, was one of, 1, 2, 3, definitely had its moments. I mean, those were some scary games. And not because of loud noises, it was because, oh my god, was that footsteps I heard behind me? Walking on this very first corridor of the game.
The radio in the first one?
Yeah,
that was an extremely good tool for injecting fear.
Exactly.
I've never played any of the Silent Hill games, but I know how atmospheric they're known to be.
It's a series.
Good atmosphere can bring a lot.
You owe it to yourself, both you and any listeners out there who have not played at least Silent Hill 2. Silent Hill 1 and 3 are both great games, but if you could only play one Silent Hill game, play Silent Hill 2.
No.
Should we kill him now in the very first podcast? I mean,
I'll be back.
It's not customary to kill one of the co-hosts on the very first podcast, but
sometimes
he says offensive things like that. I mean,
I'll be back. Can't get rid of him.
He's the nemesis. No, but in all seriousness, 2 I mean, you hear everyone, Jaxie goes on about it all the time. There are so many people out there who are always going on about it, and for good fucking reason.
Yes.
It's one of the greatest games of all fucking time.
You'll never walk down a path for such a long time and enjoy it.
It is true. After those first opening minutes would just, I mean, even graphically, I put it on today and it's like, this is a PlayStation 2 game, and it's still beautiful. It's
one of the first ones I remember that grain effect being used very well.
You put the HD collection on and it doesn't work, it's too sharp.
Yeah.
You're like, this is wrong, you need that grimy sort of start, you know?
That's all adds to the atmosphere.
It really, that
one
was...
of those atmospheric games,
Definitely. Wow, there we go. We managed to just gush about Silent Hill 2. That was good. We got that out early. It's good. It's good what happened. I'll tell you what. I think this is a good time to take a break, because we have once again tangented all over the place. This is the first time I've done it in a while. So we're gonna play here another piece of music now. Once again, I have no idea what it's from. In fact, no, it's from by.
We can't keep doing that.
I know we can't keep doing that. And welcome back to the final part of this evening's, or this day's, or whatever time you decided to listen to's podcast from the Unlockables. Mike, Jay, and Phil here talking to you about games and other geeky stuff every week. So now we're going to do what we hope is going to become a regular spot on the old podcast. We're each going to go through what we're up to at the minute, be it games we're playing, shows we're watching, comics we're reading, see what we're all up to kind of thing. And you know what? It's a no-holds-barred opinion-a-thon. If we hear an opinion we don't like, we're going to say that we don't like it. If we hear an opinion we do like, we're going to say we do like it. We're just going to talk about opinions all the time. That's not bad. I didn't like that. Needless to say, we're going to talk about stuff we like. That's what this is all about.
It's like all that stuff you've just heard before, it's going to be that. But
yes.
Even less fucking staying on topic about it.
Yeah, let's focus.
We're going to be super, it's just going to be noise from here on out. Yeah. You're just going to have to enjoy the noise. Well, let's kick things off with Phil. Phil, what have you been playing recently?
What have I been playing recently? Well, I've been playing Prisoner Architect on Steam, one of their Greenlight games. It's fantastic.
I've seen a lot of people playing it. I have no idea what it actually is. I'm assuming it's something like The Sims or SimCity.
It's kind of more SimCity. You're proper constructing your own prison, and the little guys, tiny little representation. It kind of looks like a Flash game, but I don't think it's very Flash. It's a fantastic little game, and it's so addictive. I can't really explain much about it because It's one of those that it's hard to explain.
I've got to admit, a lot of people on my Steam friend list seem to be playing it a lot of the time. It's something I'm very intrigued by. It's like if the price is right in this sale.
It's 20 quid at the moment. It's 19.99, I think. I don't know if it's in the Steam sale.
Yeah.
I don't know if bring the game get going now or whatever.
Well, isn't it an officially released game now?
Well, no, it's still only in
really?
It's version 11 of the alpha.
Oh, right. I was not aware of that.
Yeah.
Isn't Kerbal Space Program still just been out for
Yeah.
because that's in the sale today.
Oh, is it? So it might be available for sale. If it is, I highly recommend you get out there and get it.
Well, it's been talked about an awful lot. It's probably back already, to be perfectly fair. It sounds like it's doing fairly well.
Yeah. And you know, each update that they bring out just introduce loads of new good things and start to make it work a bit better each time. And you can lose hours in it, you know.
Yeah.
It's a great little time waster.
Yeah.
Else I've been playing is Last of Us multiplayer, which is one of the greatest multiplayer games I've played for a long time.
Hang on. I agree with that. Amazing.
It's so good. It's a proper team-based multiplayer where you go off on your own and you don't know what you're doing at least. You're going to get killed. You can work things out with your team where, you know, they're like at the front and they've got all the attention and one of you who's got stealth set up with your perks and things to go off and flank them and take them out with your bow or whatever, you know, you can do it
That's what I do.
It's a fantastic game. It just works so well. I wasn't expecting much from it. I thought it was just be another tapped on thing.
Yeah.
I think everyone did. And I was just blown away by how...
Especially when it took so long for us to even show anything from it. Just before we released the show.
Awful, but it was fantastic. Brilliant game. So much fun. And I can't say...
Well, I think you know, it's you know, once again, probably, you know, cliche to even say it now, but it's a perfect compliment to The Last of Us being another fantastic game.
The story of that game, a game which I feel needs no sequel, no spoilers or anything, but the story of it is a self-contained thing. I think if it was, you know, you saw these characters again, it would be detrimental.
I agree with that, but I am interested in the other thing people have been saying over another game in that world with a completely different.
I like that. So, you know, sets the world.
I'm down to see what's happening in England during this. You know, show us another portion of the world. Show us how this affects other people. You know, but I totally agree. A perfectly self-contained storyline. Two very brilliant characters with and a massive amount of brilliant supporting characters as well.
Yeah.
Gameplay, not lifted from the old school survival horror games. It's been, I don't know, improved, if anything. It's shown how to create a modern survival horror game.
It's like they've kind of gone from the base with the Uncharted, the controls for Uncharted, and tweaked them until we've got something that works.
Yeah.
With characters who move that way. And they've got some of the best stealth I've seen in a game recently.
Definitely.
You know, some of the best gunplay I've seen in a game recently. I really enjoyed how the gunplay works in this game. You know, it's not quite up there with something like Matt Payne, but it's a completely different kind of game.
Yeah.
You know, for what it is, it works. It's the only survival horror game I've managed to play in recent years. Yeah. That is legitimately scary.
Well,
survival horror.
I was sold the minute Joel took a bullet and actually fell backwards after one shot. It was like, oh my god, you can't just eat bullets like Nathan. You can't just like, go on, I'll eat all the bullets whilst I take you out. No, if this guy gets hit, he gets hit. Yeah. He feels it. You've got to be careful. This game requires you to think through every single encounter. It's absolutely beautiful, perfect on so many levels. It is perfect. Are we allowed to say perfect about games?
Well, no, I don't think we are.
You cannot make a perfect game because Ocarina of Time already exists.
Oh dear.
You see, I see your Ocarina of Time.
And you raise me Dark Souls.
I was going to say Resident Evil 2, but if you insist on ringing that. No, but Jay, what have you been playing recently?
I've been playing a couple of things. I'm currently the mayor of Skyloft in Animal Crossing Release, which has been eaten.
Hold on, Skyloft?
Yeah, you can name your town.
So okay, cool.
Yeah, and it plays a little Zelda tune every time it talks to someone.
Nice.
It's just make your own tunes. I've been pretty much being as a mayor would be, which is spending the entirety of your time fishing and catching insects in order to sell to buy shiny things. I'm currently upgrading my house. I'm building I'm paying to build a building on the main street. I've just got the petition signed for a club to open up on Main Street. You know, it's going well for Mayor Ayers' kid. Let's put it that way.
Good stuff.
I'm also playing a bit of Mario Kart 7 because I never got that. I never managed to get hold of it. And recently, it finally came from Love Film just before Love Film dies.
Yeah, glad you brought that up. Actually, I've got to remember to cancel mine because Love Film is dead to us, people. It is dead. No more Game Rentals.
Really?
Yeah, man. It's
8th of August, I think it is.
Yeah, so it's just like, wow, there's a service I no longer need. We're going to concentrate on streaming. Sorry, dudes, Netflix are already better. Just stick to what I'm paying for, please. Sorry, carry on.
I'm also playing Remember Me at the minute.
Oh, how is that?
I really enjoy the game.
Really?
I like the way the combat works in the game. I love the pressing system of working combos out, building combos where you want to either have it recover health or do more damage and stuff like that. I'm enjoying the characters. I think Millen is a good character. A little bit, you know, in certain scenes she's like, oh, what am I doing? And all that, and then sometimes she's a bit, you know, never really finds in the middle ground, but the idea behind memories that we play with in there, you know, you can download memories if you want to relive.
I've got to say though, I was looking through the concept art for Remember Me with Mrs. And we noticed that concept-wise, from a design point of view, it really doesn't have a single original idea going for it. Every single element in there is lifted from another recent sort of neo-noir kind of game, like Deus Ex, Human Revolution.
I always thought the main character looked like Faith
from Mirror's Edge. She's wearing Miranda's. She
still has the same look. Yeah, I see her silhouette and in colour, and I think, oh, it's Faith.
Yeah, and if you change their hair just slightly, she would suddenly be Miranda from Mass Effect 2.
I completely disagree.
And as I say, just from a purely aesthetic point of view of the environments, okay, they're lit differently, but they are Deus Ex's environments.
They're not covered in yellow.
I'm a massive Deus Ex fan, and I also am not a big fan of the yellow Deus Ex Human Revolution. Exactly. However, I will say, they were there first, man. You know, and
say that they haven't got an original idea. I haven't seen the idea of memory altering.
I was about to bring it on to that.
Was there a Johnny Mnemonic game?
Yeah, on the Mega CD, I think.
If there isn't, it needs a reboot or something.
There was on the Sega CD.
Well, we'll put it out here now. Johnny Mnemonic HD remix. Whoever made that, make it.
But I mean, it's a really interesting mechanic. I really like it. It's just a shame it only happens about 5 times.
Yeah.
But game as a whole, I am thoroughly enjoying.
That's cool.
It's not going to be a game that everyone will ironically remember. But
I like it.
Yeah. When I was writing my notes for this, I was like, okay, if we're playing, and then I went, oh yeah, we're so, you know. But yeah, it's a game I'm not going to regret of playing.
Of course,
I really enjoyed it. And just going to what the last big bit of news about it was about how the developers had so much trouble selling the game with a female character.
True. Yeah, I mean, bring it back to The Last of Us Day. I mean, there's another developer who had to fight to have their female protagonist on the cover of the game.
And on the cover of the magazine.
Have to fight for anything for its protagonist to be anywhere in the game. Well, let the front cover of the guy with a shotgun.
Well, that's it, yeah.
She's still like, you know, a big selling point in the game.
She was, Levine even said that the reason it was designed that way is because they wanted to sell it to.
Yeah, they wanted to sell it
to people. All the advertising still had her portrayed.
Of course. But she is as much a protagonist of that game as Booker is. Similarly with Ellie and Joel, and to have a game's like entire existence called into question because of having a female protagonist. I mean that's pretty lame.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, it's like I don't know about you, but when I was a kid, when I played video games, I didn't read anything. When I used to, it's so odd that I'm even thinking about this now, but when I used to play stuff like Streets of Rage 1, and I'd always pick the ladies, no matter what, because she was the coolest, she was a ninja girl, who doesn't like being a ninja girl? But you know, I used to think like, I wonder if like Axel's her boyfriend, you know what I mean? And I didn't get these gut churning things like, oh my god, imagine kissing a man! You know, it was just like, you know, it just didn't even occur to me. It never has in any game when I have a female protagonist, but she has a love interest who is male. It's like, so, okay. You know what I mean? Similarly, if it's a lesbian or gay relationship, it's like, yeah, okay, that's the story of the game. You know, it doesn't play into my personal politics at all. But like, for them to even say, not even the idea of like, oh no, it's got like really sort of hardcore sexual elements, or like I said, no, the main character is a female. What? That's absolute bullshit. You know, there's no way.
It's the idea of putting a girl on the front of the box.
Yeah, it's not going to sell. No, it's not going to sell. But what people want is dudes with guns. That's what they want. When a soldier pointing a gun or walking out of like a fog with a bit of orange coming out of it, and going, I'm the man with the gun. I'm the man with the gun. Brings me actually smoothly on to what I've been playing this week. To be honest. Downloaded Battlefield 3 off PlayStation Plus with it going free because, you know, why not?
Yeah.
You know, I haven't shot some people
I'm
online in a while.
gonna get it.
I downloaded it, but I haven't actually played it yet.
Have you not known? Well, you play the PC version.
My PC.
Yeah, it's
inferior. It's a PC elitist game.
No, to be fair, man, it's
wasn't it boss not having to pay like £200 to make your PC good enough to play it?
£200? What draconian age is this?
but we're straying from the subject, guys. I was about to start saying some nice things about Battlefield 3, okay? Right, I got Battlefield 3 downloaded off store.
The FPS!
The inferior version to the PC version, yes. Well, I've got to say, because I did buy it at launch.
But the superior version to the 360 one.
Yes, the superior to 360 in every single aspect. But once again, I bought it at launch and wasn't too impressed by it. It was a bag of bolts, didn't work properly at all, and I just did not enjoy it as much as I did their Bad Company 2, which even on the PS3 was a really polished product. I totally enjoyed it. However, downloading it now, like 2 years after the fact, with all kinds of patches and stuff, it's a much nicer experience. It really is. It obviously still doesn't look as good as the PC version, but the gameplay is a lot tighter, a lot smoother. Getting very little away frame drops. My nice internet connection ensured that I didn't get any lag or anything. It certainly is a much smoother play on the PS3 now, which I'm glad of. So I'm looking forward to getting into that a bit more. Started Deadpool the other day, which is. It's a competent game.
I believe it's well worth it.
If you're into the comics, if you've read Deadpool, if you like Marvel, if you like X-Men, give it a go. It will tickle some funny bones. It will give you a bit of fan service. It will give you a song called "Who the fuck is that?" It's fucking Cable. If you're, if you want to hear those words sung about Cable, favorite X-Man, by the way.
It's another game where
it's a man. It's a man.
Because to say.
Yeah, being Deadpool.
But for the first time I've ever known Nolan North in Afterwards. Where, he was a character in that. And it was the first time I'd ever not know it was Nolan North.
Yeah.
It was like every single role he's done, as soon as I heard the Adventures Sphere speaking about to Nolan North.
Yeah.
A security guard on the protocol, Nolan North.
Yeah.
All the little bit parts, Nolan North. It's always sounded the same to me, always.
It was.
I had no idea until I saw the credits.
He was.
It was injustice for me. Played Deathstroke. I didn't realise that was him.
I didn't realise that was him either until right now.
No, I've played both Deathstroke and Deadpool.
There's two. So maybe he's got three voices he uses overall. He just learned it too.
What about the Penguin and Arkham?
No, I knew it was him straight away.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
But that was a different voice, but I could still tell it was
him. Yeah. I was impressed.
That was amazing. It was like,
yeah.
It's like Jennifer Hale. I always know her. Well, she's so good.
Yeah,
I don't mind knowing it's there. It doesn't take me out of the experience. Like with no knowledge, like it kind of breaks the fourth wall now.
Oh, that's
familiar with it.
Well, it's funny you should say that. I mean,
because she's so good at how she does the voice acting, I can listen to her all the time.
Yeah.
She gets proper into the character and I can believe it. Every time it doesn't take me out of it. We're no longer like, oh, it's Nolan.
It's
funny you should say. I mean, because Deadpool does open with.
It's not Deadpool's fault like that.
Deadpool speaks with Nolan North
Yeah,
the opening. It's absolutely. I mean,
It's amazing.
as I say, in terms of a game, it's competent, it's fun. If you play Devil May Cry or God of War or any of these games, you know exactly what you're getting into. It's a very basic one, very easy, I'll definitely say, because I think that if anything helps with the gameplay, because Deadpool's supposed to be an unkillable badass anyway, so it's just fun jumping around him saying weird things and doing very politically incorrect stuff all of the time, and it's like, its tongue is in its cheek, don't take it seriously. Deadpool's supposed to be a dickhead. It's good fun.
And when you're playing, if you get to a point where it wants you to brick slap someone, keep going with it.
Oh,
keep going with it.
It is fantastic. That is so far probably my favourite. I've played for about 2.5 hours, and I've heard it's only short. So
see, I have finished the game.
Yeah.
The last level was quite difficult, but I didn't regret playing it at all. I can understand if people aren't going to enjoy it, but for me, I didn't waste my time at all.
No, it
was such a fun experience to play.
A lot of reviewers have complained because everyone knows it's a budget title, everyone knows it's not like the biggest title from Activision this year, but it's still, it takes that in its stride. It knows it's got a low budget and it makes fun of the fact. It gives you a few 8-bit levels going, this is all we could afford for this bit, Deadpool, sorry, and it's just like, and Deadpool makes light of it, and it's
the fact that Deadpool is regularly in contact with the developers of the game
exactly.
while he's playing the game. While you're playing the game.
It's brilliant. I mean, one thing that I do have to say is that it is very haphazard with its characters. It likes to kill people very, very quickly, and it's like, hang on. You can't just kill characters in the Marvel canon. It doesn't work. Well, you can in the Marvel canon.
Red Joker armor.
Sure. Listen, that's a whole other 6-hour podcast.
Where I won't be.
Yeah, whatever. Because you'll be reading the books and then...
Go and play the game, and then we can talk about how it's not a Philistine book. But
bringing it back to Deadpool, it does. I mean, maybe I'm misinterpreting that, but maybe that's just their way of saying, look, this isn't even in the context of the comics. This is just what would happen in a Deadpool game.
Well, that's what it is. It's the game.
It's directed by Deadpool himself, so you know
it's a game. Deadpool's starring game, and that just so happens to end up having an apocalyptic scenario around it.
Well, I'm looking forward to getting through the rest of that. And last but not least, I've moved into a new place, and I'm going to bring it up here. It's going to happen. It's going to bring it up here. I've only just got my internet connection back, and it's a nice steady 100 meg connection. It's beautiful, and I have to try out one game to make sure that it worked. And they just updated the mod for it as well, so it's running even smoother in a steady 60 frames per second, and that is the greatest game of this generation.
No one cares, Mike.
Dark Souls. And every time it goes on, it's still as beautiful as it was the last time I played it. It's a beautiful thing. Phil knows, and Jay knows. He says it like it's a bad thing.
I have finished it,
and I'm going to bring it back.
Get it.
If you remember, a little earlier we were talking about origin stories and favourite games. And Jay, please, this is my turn to speak. This is
where the asterisks.
Do you remember the no holds barred bit?
No, this is the O'Reilly factor, okay? I'm Bill O'Reilly.
Yeah, and I'm doing it live.
Are you doing it live? Okay. Well, here we go. What you said before, Metroid was good because of the sense of isolation, because of the, not a lack of narrative, but certainly a narrative that it benefits from discovery, from exploration, and from generally taking in the world and allowing the atmosphere to wash over you.
Yeah,
that's Dark Souls.
That is Dark Souls.
Because even if I just walk around and explore, I don't know what's going on until I read every item.
Not true.
I played through that game. I finished that game, and I had no idea what I was doing the entire time.
So did you not watch the intro movie that explains the premise?
And then listen to what the characters talk to you and ask you to do?
No one seemed to do anything.
Franz didn't say anything to you.
He said
explains quite a lot of everything you need to know.
He said something about getting a giant fire
You get the Lord Vessel in order to over.
All these bosses, I didn't have a clue who any of them were.
Yeah.
Why I should care.
Well, no, I mean, I know who you mean. I know you the almost like, I'm not going to say lesser bosses, but certainly. But you know, the bosses that went, the non-Lord Souls, yeah. But once again, it's like, if you look at games like, say, Symphony of the Night, like, how many bosses in that have actual context? You go into a room and it's just a dude hanging from those hooks. It's like, there's no story justification for it being there. But you instantly buy, it's like, yeah, he's here and I've got to sort of, this is this world and this is what's here. It's like, Dark Souls is a game set during a post-apocalypse. It's set, it's not a traditional setting for a post-apocalypse, which is usually, Great Wasteland. But in this, it's a fantasy post-apocalypse. It's like, all these people have been fucking with things they shouldn't have been fucking with, and it's caused a desolate land filled with fucking zombie-like people, and that everything is just driven to steal other people's souls in order to, and humanity, that's the other one, that's the other big thing. It's like, humanity is the most precious resource about, and the fire is what, humanity fuels the fire, and it's, people are listening now going, what's he rambling about? What the fuck is he talking about?
Me too.
But the fact is, I think the beauty of it is it's in metaphor, because like fire, instantly you think of life, you think of like the dawn of all, like everything is born, fire, like essentially, it was one of the discoveries of man that enabled us to evolve and all that kind of stuff, and once again, it's like, there is tons of stuff online. If you go on YouTube and type in Epic Name Bro or Barty Video or anyone like that, they can explain the lore of Dark Souls better than I can. Now, okay, a lot of people would argue, shouldn't have to go find videos to explain lore, but I think that's beautiful. I think it's beautiful that the game has asked us to investigate it for ourselves.
You don't have to go and find these videos. You can go in the game.
Or alternatively, spend £5 now on Steam during the sale and buy Dark Souls.
Yeah, you said to me yourself the other day that the developer or the director or something, they're so happy with everyone coming up with their own theories. Yeah. And that's what you've told me is a good part of this.
Yeah, of course.
That's what I want to hear. I want to know what's actually going on, not people's opinions.
It was like in Lost, because Lost was brilliant when it was all theory, and then when you found out what it really was, it was terrible.
But also, another thing is like, and I hate to start getting all philosophical at this point, but it's like, in life and in general, we don't always know what is going on. It's like, it's kind of unfair to assume that anyone...
I like to play games to get away from that.
But you're still being transported to this other world, and if anything, but at least for me, that makes it all the more immersive, knowing less, being told too much, having a big book of lore to read through, makes me feel like, oh, I know this, but if I take it in, it's like, boom, here you go, it's like, oh no, I'm a stranger in a foreign land. What is this place? And it spurns my need to discover and explore and to go, what is this? What does all this mean?
There are different types of different games. Like,
truly.
In Dynasty Warriors, I like the big appendix to the history of every character. I go to read them, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I enjoy that. And like with Dark Souls, I hardly give you anything, but what it does give you, sets you up to not just use your imagination, but it does, it's like you use imagination around it, but there is an actual story there, you bother to find out, you just have to put the time in.
Yeah.
Find out,
I suppose I'll put it this way. Like the game, really enjoyed the game. I like difficult games. I like that there's a game that isn't just pulling your hand and taking you where you need to go.
Yeah.
Like being made to figure out stuff like that. And maybe it's because the game was raved about to me so much before I played it, I already made my mind up I wasn't going to like it as much.
Yeah, I mean, I've got it in my head, like, anyone who knows me or is introduced to me, like, instantly will be told that, listen, Dark Souls or nothing at all, okay? It is, at the minute, my flavour of the generation. I think it took me back to a time when games, as Jay just pointed out, didn't hold your hand. It went, boom, here's a level, kill the monsters or die. And that's what Dark Souls did. Meanwhile, weaving this very intricate lore that's hidden. It is hidden in there now. And I can understand the criticism when it comes to that. But to me, that is a beautiful thing.
I think Jay has a pretty legitimate point with the hype destroying the game.
Oh yeah.
instead of playing Chronicles, that was hyper which wasn't released over here, then finally get released over here. I think
we got it. It was America.
America aren't getting it this year.
Right, still just getting it now. Yeah. And then we picked up loads of I'll check it out and play it. I didn't even think about it. Why did they make it look about it?
Yeah.
And I was disappointed.
Let's say I gave it a quick go and I thought it was quite cool. It was very similar to Final Fantasy 12, which I know not everyone's a fan of. I'm a big fan of Final Fantasy 12, but I thought
Final Fantasy 12, A New Hope.
It's terrible, mate.
It wasn't terrible. It was a great game. It was a great game.
Come on, Fran.
Right,
shut up, sun zombies. Spoilers for a film that I actually haven't seen. Sorry.
Trying to take the mick out of me for one of the best movies ever made.
Sun zombies.
It doesn't even have sun zombies. It's a ridiculous, massive generalisation.
Right, okay, I say we're not going to go to spoiler territory right here right now, but I do want to give a quick shout out to Pacific Rim. So you're going to make a short interview because Jake still hasn't seen it. Man's got to see it. It's fucking fantastic. It is, as Phil said many times, the best live action anime ever.
I don't know. I've seen the Fist of the North Star film.
Have you seen Goodhead?
No.
It's got the manga thing on the video and everything. It's live action anime. You know, it's about when machines have taken over. The last best hope is this Goodhead, like articulated bleeding machine. Gunhead thing.
Wasn't that one of the bosses in Smash TV?
Yeah, well, that's pretty much it.
Another good live action anime, Rikio, story of Ricky.
That's something I've been meaning to watch for a while.
That's amazing.
With the head crushing,
yeah.
style.
Oh no, watch this movie.
Just a story about a badass in a prison and just death and really stupid special effects. That's amazing.
But just bringing it back, as I say. I read one review, rubbed me the wrong way. I went in there expecting bad things, and I came out beaming like a 5-year-old child that's just seen Star Wars for the first time. It was fantastic. I can't sing its praises enough. Ron Perlman is the man. Charlie Day is the man. Idris Elba is the man. Charlie. They're all brilliant. Yeah. Everyone.
Now that you've spoken about a film that's just come out, though.
Yeah.
Let me sing the praises of the film that's coming out next week.
Oh well.
The final part of the Three Flavors Cornetto trilogy. The World's End.
It's going to be beautiful. The trailer looks incredible, and it's without a shadow of a doubt.
It's happening.
We're gonna marathon the other two films before we go on.
I think that's gotta happen.
Because none of the trilogy shows are happening here.
We can make our own trilogy show. We can do it with actual cornetos.
Yeah, I'm totally bringing some cornetos.
Cornetos have got to happen. The World's End is going to be fantastic. And at the end of the month, a film that I want to be good so badly.
Better than the last one.
The Wolverine.
It's not out this
It's 26th of this month. I'm a huge X-Men fan, as we've been saying with Deadpool there, and I've always have been since I was a kid. X-Men 1, love. X2, fantastic. X3, X-Men Origins, X-Men First Class. Oh, yeah.
That film is so much better.
That's what I mean. Michael Fassbender, biggest man crush of all time.
James McAvoy knows how to play Magneto.
Exactly.
James McAvoy.
And McAvoy as Professor X was amazing as well. It's I can't wait for Days of the Future Past because, people complain there's too many X-Men, and I'm like, oh no, if they're going to do Days of Future Past with Bryan Singer, I have faith that it'd be good. He's come back, he's reuniting a lot of the original cast from the looks of it, and it's going to be the bomb. We're going to be there. But Wolverine, that last film.
Everything was like shooting even Kennedy was going to be there.
Well, without that, but as I said,
I don't know, it didn't help fucking X3.
That's very true.
Yeah. Well, though, you did have that amazing scene where he's lifting up the bridge, and if you play fart noises on it, it just looks like Ian McKellen is really. You should do it. It's a whole new version of the movie. It's just like the Ian.
One was enough. Like, yes.
Do you think a dodgy, no special effects version of the Wolverine will come out like it did with X-Men Origins?
Well, I don't know what you're talking about, Jay.
Everyone knows what I'm talking about.
I would never watch or
It was
download.
better than the end product.
To be fair, yeah, I mean,
it was much more fun and enjoyable.
I watched 5 minutes of that one because we acquired it from a place, and we watched it, and we were like, oh no, we've been ripped off. This isn't an official copy of Wolverine. This is one of those pirated videos. Yarr! Yarr! Because all the special effects were missing.
Now I parody something, I feel like going out and murdering people. Doing a bunch of drugs.
No.
Oh no, this is a parody sent to me.
Pirate DVDs do fund terrorism, apparently.
Well, you know, we got
Yeah, because I was terrified of a copy of that Bleeding Train spotting that we show everything. No, that looks terrifying.
What's the bit you're tracking me?
Terrorists.
I wouldn't steal a car.
but in all seriousness, it's like that first film was an abomination. It was.
I still don't mind it as much.
Well, you are wrong.
But then again, I also didn't hate Spider-Man 3 as much as everyone else.
Spider-Man 3 was like 3/4 a good movie, well, half a good movie. Sandman was cool, and the lead up to the alien suit was cool. If they'd have ended with him tearing that suit off.
I found Superman too boring.
Superman?
Yeah, Spider-Man too boring. Spider-Man was quite boring.
Anyway, as we were talking about Spider-Man 3, Spider-Man 2, which is possibly the best comic book movie ever made.
Disagree.
I think it's
Dark Knight's the best comic book movie ever
You
made.
see, that's the one. To me, because Spider-Man, Batman, two of my favourites. Obviously, two of everyone's fucking favourites. But I think both of those films capture perfectly the essences of those characters. Spider-Man 2, I think, is spot on, and I love it. Every fibre of my being. Dr. Octopus was amazing.
Yeah, Dr. Octopus was good.
The only problem I have with Spider-Man 2 is that bit towards the end where everyone carries him across the train.
I think that it's Spider-Man. Everyone loves Spider-Man.
Yeah, but they were acting like he was Jesus Christ.
He is Spider Jesus. Spider Jesus.
Although
Why do you think he's got the holes in his hands? That's how he fires the web out.
He doesn't.
He was bitten by a radioactive spider on the cross, and then when he was in that cave.
I thought you made it over
That's not in the film.
Yeah, and
Apart from the new one.
And Ultimate Spider-Man is also. Oh wait, is it?
No. Wasn't it the Amazing Spider-Man that got retconned? He got some alien or something started to turn into a spider. Or
Why doesn't it come out of his ass?
Because he's not a scientifically accurate Spider-Man.
Oh right. Yeah.
Which is a great cartoon. YouTube that, by the way.
Scientifically accurate
Spider-Man. Scientifically accurate Spider-Man. Put that in YouTube and giggle away. They've got a couple now, and they're pretty funny. Yeah. Well, it's just a parody on the theme tune, and it's really good. There'll be a link somewhere. But anyway, I think we're going to wrap things up there. It's been
we may have hit on maybe 2 complete topics
I
today.
think for the first time, I think we did okay. You know, I mean,
hopefully everyone else thinks so too.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you did like us, then you know, I don't doubt there'll be a Twitter page and a Facebook thing. There'll be links and stuff, and you can click on those links and
well, this isn't the only thing we're doing, by the way.
Yeah, this is what we like to call a preview.
We have a lot of exciting things going on.
Exactly. Yeah, we don't want to blow the load too early, as it were. But just bear in mind that you're listening to our voices being recorded through a headset over the turn on the table now. Well, soon, very soon, you'll be coming to know our faces, our voices, and our comedy stylings when we start to do video content, more podcasts, maybe even some comic book content.
Let's just put it this way. We said there's going to be a Twitter and a Facebook and stuff. There'll also be a YouTube page. There's bound to be a Twitch page because we're going to start streaming some stuff.
Oh god, yeah. You've got to show them how crap Phil is at Street Fighter. First time he met, tells me how great he is at fighting games. Go around to his house, kick his ass. Straight up.
Nice.
Just straight up.
Nice.
He's pretty cheap with Steve in Tekken Tag. He's got that down. He's got that down.
I'll beat you a blanker every day.
Whatever!
I will.
Right, that's going to be one of our first. You heard it here first, guys. Ryu versus Blanca, best of 5.
And winner takes on my Vega.
And we don't know who that'll be. And then it'll be King Michael. And everyone will be like, well, we need to register by then. Well, you know, Evo's just started. And I know it can turn up.
Evo's probably just finished.
It has happened by the time you're listening to this anyway. But, yeah, all jokes aside, we have a lot of fun stuff coming your way. It's going to be a tour de force.
Indeed.
Awesome.
Indeed. Can't wait to get this stuff going.
Indeed. Well, thanks for listening. I've been Mike.
I've been Phil.
And I've been Jay.
And we've all been Unlockables!
No, Z.
No, there's totally a Z. There's gonna be a Z.
There's no Z.